Welcome everyone. We are going to be going live with Red and we're going to be talking all about mindset and creative deals and innovative strategies you can use to maximize your real estate returns. I'm super excited to have him on. He's going to be hopping on anytime now and I will add him. I briefly had a phone call with him the other day, and just after that one phone call, I felt so empowered and just so inspired to just go out and take control of my life. And so I am overly excited to have him here today so you guys can get that same feeling. So if you're really wanting some like self journeying, you find the right mindset, figure out your daily routine, you also want to learn about car hacking, house hacking, creative deals. I mean, we're going to be going over all of it. So here he is now. I'm going to send you a invite, Red. Oh, see, did it go through?
What's going on?
Hello,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Great, thanks so much for coming on
Of
today.
course. Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure.
I was just telling them about how I had a phone call with you a couple days ago and how after our phone call I felt very empowered and
Uh,
just wanted to take control of my life,
you're
and so
too
I'm really
sweet.
excited.
You're too sweet to me. Thank you. It's your
Well,
personality. You bring goodness out of people. That's incredible skill, by the way.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to start out and just like start off running and tell us a little bit about how you got started in real estate?
Yeah, I started in real estate due personal traumatic experience in my life. I was going through a challenge. I had to end the relationship. It was pretty painful. And at the time, I was following Ryan Pineda, the man I admired in so many areas of life. But I never followed him for real estate. And I've been following him since COVID. But this happened end of 2022. So about 19, 20 months ago.
Okay.
And then this happened with my ex-wife, and I decided to do something I've never done before. So I pulled the trigger and joined leveraged credit cards and joined his community because, like I said, I was following Ryan for not his real estate endeavors. I was following him for the husband he is, the man he is, the leader he is, the spiritual person he is. And then obviously real estate and business came along as well. So I decided to, since I admire him in so many areas,
Yeah.
I want to have I want to have what he has, and that's why I joined the community.
I love it. I love how you tied his personal life and just like his being as a person, just like his personality and his values all into it's not just what he teaches, it's him himself. And I feel like when you
Exactly.
find that person and you latch on, it's like, because I feel like it's kind of difficult to find someone that you meet with on like personal values and business values. So the
Mhm.
fact that you found that right out of the gate and just ran with it is incredible.
Yes,
By the way,
he's an amazing guy. Yeah,
it's meant to
still
be.
teaching me a lot. Yeah. And yeah, so I got into real estate then because of him. And it's it's not really about real estate, and especially, it's a pretty hard place to be an entrepreneur in general, right? The statistics are crazy how many actually successful entrepreneurs are out there.
Yeah.
So it's the journey of not just making money and building your real estate portfolio if that's what you want to do. It's actually the journey of self-discovery. The better you become, more you can achieve, whether it's real estate or business or really anything in life. So yes, it's the personal development aspect of what I found in Ryan's community is really what propelled me as well. And I was fortunate enough to learn from him. And then at his very first event that I attended, I was introduced to Pace Morby, which I didn't know him at the time. He's another real estate king in the industry. And I learned the creative ways of not just buying real estate, but really anything.
Mm-hmm.
And and he also became my mentor later on the same
Wow.
year. And now it's been incredible. Yeah, I just moved to Phoenix actually, and his headquarters, Pace's headquarters here in Phoenix. So I've been enjoying Phoenix. Besides the heat, it's a great city. Yeah.
I know. I saw you went on an amazing hike the other day
Yeah, it was
too. That's
109
amazing.
degrees.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a very outdoorsy person. I used to live in Washington State, and I miss it. But no heat gonna stop me from going and enjoying the outdoorsy activities. And 109, 99, it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna go hike at least once a week.
Wow.
It's a must. It's very therapeutic.
I can see
I'm
why.
doing it for the mind, not for, physical challenges, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone once told me that when you have a very, very difficult workout, anything else you do that day seems just easier
Yes.
and more lightweight. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. It's the mental blockage that you have to take it off in order to go and make that next step. It's never the physical aspect. I don't work out for, to look good. It comes with it as the result, but it's always the mental fulfillment you get when you go and do something tough.
Yeah.
Hard things, they're necessary to make you, better and get you on the next level. Yeah.
But yeah, I can imagine that confidence that you build with the succeeding in those challenges physically, it just like pour over into other aspects of your life, like with business and relationships, and
100%.
it just all
Yeah.
catches. I love that.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's like you have control over that. I mean, that's the most
Yeah.
important part, right? You can't control a lot of things in life, but like
No.
self-empowering yourself and building that confidence like starts with physical challenges.
Yeah, and doing it, really, just confidence. People look for confidence, but confidence comes from doing it and doing it consistently. Unfortunately, it's not about doing it once or achieving this once or making good money once. Anyone can, go for the moonshot and take it, but then how many people actually do it consistently for decades to come, right? Like now I want to measure everything in life in decades. And it's a pretty tough place to be because you want to live like tomorrow never happens, but at the same time prepare for the future if it ever happens. So it's the everyday balance of that is really being in between everything, like enjoy today, like tomorrow never happens, and at the same time prepare for the future. That's for me, that's my biggest mental challenge every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you always been really into like physical fitness and self-discovery and mindset, like before you even started in real estate, or did that come after?
Mostly came after the personal development aspect of that, but physically, yes. I used to be a pro fighter. I'm coming from Middle Asia, and that's all we do in most of the Asia. Just it's like it's a cultural thing. Here in America, people play baseball or basketball or football. Where I'm from, Middle Asia, we wrestle, we box, like do martial arts. That's a cultural thing, and that's what I've been doing. And now, older I'm getting, I'm realizing how grateful I am for doing that, because doing martial arts is the only thing I know that gives you the discipline that you want. It's not any kind of sports. No, I know a lot of people who used to be bodybuilders or even soccer players, but they struggle with discipline. But specifically, martial arts is tailored towards the self-discipline aspect. And to me, discipline and self-discipline is the highest form of self-love. And it's highly taught in martial arts. Martial arts literally is about controlling yourself and specifically your emotions, because if you approach your opponent when you're having a fight with emotions, you lose immediately. Yeah.
100%.
So I learned that in martial arts, and now it's helping me so much in business and life in general. Yeah, I'm grateful for that. Grateful for all of my coaches that taught me.
And since you don't do the martial arts anymore, what have you replaced that with in your life now?
I'm staying in shape. I still do, my kicks and some of what I used to do. I just go to the gym, I hike, and I run occasionally. So I still stay in shape. Yeah, I'm not doing it on a professional level, but I still go and work out at least 5 days a week. Yeah.
Okay. And I know you said you had a new daily routine. You want to walk us through that?
Yeah, every 3 or 6 months or so, I evaluate my current routine and see if I'm getting the most out of it, right? Am I getting the enough output out of my productivity that I'm having right now with the current routine? And recently I switched to a new routine. I used to work out the first thing in the morning and do my, meditation and read a Bible and then go work out immediately on an empty stomach. But now this is my third week now. I switched to a routine called 3-in-1. So 3 days in one, concept of having 90 days in 1 month. I learned that from Ed Milet. So basically he divides each day into 3 days. From 6 to noon is when he has his personal day, meaning he's working on MIT, most important task. And he doesn't interact with the outside world at all. He has no personal meetings. He doesn't talk to anyone, but works on his business. And then from noon till 6 o'clock, that's when he has his meetings, his phone calls, his Zoom meetings, contracts, whatever. And then from 6 till he goes to bed, then he has his family time, reads a book, catches up on some other personal stuff that not business related. And because of that, he was able to increase his productivity literally threefold. And wow. I'm like, wow, what a great concept.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it. It was pretty tough to transition from like workout standpoint, because working out during the day, like my energy, I had my body had to adjust. But now I think it did. I feel stronger now working out. I just actually finished my workout like an hour ago. You can tell my hair is a little mess. I got out of the shower. But no, it's been great. I am more focused now in the morning, working on MIT, the most important task. And like I said, my body adjusted for workout during the day. So I'm loving it. I'm excited to see where I'm going to be in the next 3 to 6 months, and then I'm going to come back and evaluate this again. But I think I'm going to stick to it for sure for the next 180 days. Wow. It's good enough period to to tell. Like it's a good testing time. Yeah. So it's been great so far. So good. Highly recommend. It's tough if you have a W-2 and you like don't have the full control of your whole day. But I've been blessed enough. I work for myself. My schedule allows me to have the full control of all of my 24 hours.
Yeah. So during that second part of the day, is that when you do like real estate investing and okay?
Yeah, that's when I have my Zoom meetings. That's when I have my personal meeting. In-person meetings or phone calls, and all of that. Yeah, it can be, since I don't have my family here in the U.S., I can even go past 6 o'clock and have those phone calls, business phone calls related, or friends, catching up with some friends, right? But from 6 a.m. till noon, I don't want to interact with anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone, but focus on my most important task. And right now I'm working on a big project, and in the next 30 to 45 days, I'm going to need that MIT all to myself. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, big project. You got us on our toes.
Well, big project is literally what I learned since I moved to the U.S. and what helped me in the last 18 months since I got into real estate, right? What helped me to propel and get the I'm not trying to sound immodest and all of that, but I've been noticing I love observing and I love asking questions, like why this person does what he does and why this person gets this much but this person doesn't. And I want to learn from others and what they're doing and what mistakes they're doing as well, right? Mistakes are a great indicator of what's working and what's not working. And in the last 18 months, I'm in my primary residence right now, which I never owned a house before, but I got here literally since I got into real estate in January of 2023, last year. And I never thought I would be able to buy my primary residence so fast without really sacrificing that much monetary wise. But it's all because I learned the real estate game, the game of wealthy. But in order to get here, prior to that, I learned the fundamentals. It's the mindset stuff. It's the peace of mind. It's ability to connect with yourself, communicate with yourself and others. And I was able to learn that even more in the last 18 months. And that's what helped me to get into real estate and get deals going way faster than for most new real estate investors that when they get into the game. Yeah. And that's what I've been noticing. People are focusing on deals rather than focusing on skills. If you don't have the foundation, my favorite geometrical shape is the triangle. And people only focus on the top, what they can get, what everything that you want in life and more is the top of the triangle. But if your base is not developed, if it's empty, there's nothing for that top to stand on.
Yeah.
So I'm focusing on the base, and that's what I want to teach people, literally the fundamentals. And Larry Bird, one of the most famous basketball players of all time, he said, literally, very simply, he put it very simply, first, master the fundamentals. And if there's anything wrong with you in something not going as you think it should be going, it's because your fundamentals or something happening, something wrong is there. So go back and look what's going on there. Yeah.
I love like too that you said the questions, because someone once said to me that your success is directly related to the questions you ask.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. 100%. Yeah. It's always the quality of questions you ask. It's never about the answers.
Yeah.
If you ask appropriate questions, you're going to get an appropriate answer. If you ask lousy questions, you're going to get a lousy answer for sure.
Yeah. So take us back to the beginning. Were you asking the right questions then, or did you just end up in the right room at the right time, or what was that first deal like?
My first deal, yeah, I was definitely in the same room, in the right room, and I was the dumbest person in the room. And there's a person who just recently passed away who pushed me into that room, which I'm grateful for him. I was in the room of 100 people who, the level of conversations that we're having in that room was absolutely amazing. The first conversation I got to be part of was literally, I'm quoting this. It was this guy, he does real estate and short-term rental for the most part, like Airbnbs. And right before Christmas of 2022, literally, and the event was 3 weeks after that, so first week of January of 2023. So he had this issue apparently. His CPA told him, dude, if you don't spend 450,000, he said, yeah, if you don't spend around $350,000 or so, you're gonna have to pay almost $500,000 in taxes. And I'm like, wow, what a great problem to have, is what I thought to myself. So he's like, yeah, I went and I had to just drop him something, and he went and bought Lamborghini Urus for almost 400,000 just to save, $500,000 in taxes. So that's kind of problems they're having. That room was filled with those problems. I was thinking, how do I pay my $30,000 that I just leveraged in credit card debt for this membership that I got into? This guy his problem was how to spend $350,000 or $400,000 to not pay a bunch of money in taxes.
Right.
So obviously I was in the right room, and I was the dumbest person in the room, and I loved every second of it. And now every time when I go to events and I see these newbies, I'm like, wow, what a love. I want to be you again. I want to be that stupid guy with empty mind and empty head and just experience that growth again. It's been something.
Well, yeah, leveling up like that. I feel like I still get a little intimidated with being in, rooms like that, because I always feel like I want to add value, and being the dumbest person in the room, it's hard to feel like, is it okay for me? Am I allowed to be here?
Well, actually, it's the saying dumbest person in the room. It's actually never the dumbest. It's not about being intelligent. Intelligent and money has nothing in common. There's a lot of dumb people that are so rich. It's incredible. It's about having the right knowledge that you can implement. I would always take the person who is absolutely dumb but ready to take action, never afraid to take action, than this guy who is incredibly intelligent and overthink. Unfortunately, intelligent people tend to be overthinkers, and that's why they never take any kind of action. I'd rather be the dumb and deal with the dumb but ready to go guy than this intelligent guy but never puts anything into action. So it's not about being intelligent, really. There's a lot of dumb people that are incredibly wealthy, and unfortunately, most intelligent people are broke. I think PhD, right? If you're doctor, PhD stands for poor, hungry, and desperate, as Robert Kiyosaki breaks it down. So I 100% agree with that. So yes, it's not about really being intelligent, because
Yeah.
you can have all the knowledge, but if you don't implement it, it's pointless.
Okay. So if you're going to be that person in the room who's just, ready to go, ready to learn, ready to take action, it's like, is there any advice you would give someone who's about to go to one of these events and be that person?
Yes. So a lot of yes, I was one of those people who was networking inappropriately and wrong in the wrong way, because the event typical event you go to, unless it's a 3-day event, right? Like WolfCon is coming up, that's a massive event. You can actually go and network differently. So depending on how long is that event that you're going to, you want to, and usually all these real estate meetups we go to, right? It's a several hour event. So in several hours, you're physically not able to actually connect with people. It's impossible to connect with even two people actually genuinely and deeply. Always make a goal to connect with one person. I love this saying. When you go to smaller events like that, meet everyone but build with one. So meet that one person and stick to that guy, and then actually develop relationship. I rather have 10 people in my life that I know everything about than 100 people that I know some surface level information about. I'm not going to be able to trust them, trust these 100 people, because I don't know much about them. But if I know everything about you, I can go into business with you, into surviving mode somewhere into the wilderness, right? Maybe even whatever, do a lot of stuff with you if I know a lot about you. So that's what I would do. Go and meet one person, stick to that person, get to know him to the fullest or her, and then go to another event, do it again. And next thing you know, in few events, you have 3-4 actual friends that you can stay in touch with and actually do business. So that's what I would do. Yeah. If you're absolute newbie, just go meet one, actually meet that person, connect with that person. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. In my first conference, it was very overwhelming because I quickly realized there's no way I'm going to meet everyone here. There was like 600 people at this conference.
Yeah.
And luckily I ended up sharing a room with another investor and I ended up sticking with her and she kind of like took me under her wing and adopted me really good. So I just kind of like stuck with her and she introduced me. We got to know each other and she introduced me to all her friends. So it's like, even if like people are like, oh, well, I'm only meeting one person, but that one person will like introduce you to so many more people, and those personal connections I feel like are so much more valuable than if you were to just go and introduce yourself to someone random that you've never met before.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's like,
So adventures and avenues.
oh
That's
yes,
such a great statement. Yeah, to be the most interested person. Yeah, literally asking questions, not the most interesting person in the room. 100%. And then full ass one craft deals, doctor says. Yeah. Then half ass many crafts. 100%. You wanna go so specific and you want to focus on one thing, one person, one deal, and then master it and then move on. Yeah, it's so incredibly important. Unfortunately, shiny object syndrome is another thing that is killing a lot of newbies, whether it's real estate or business or anything that really related to life. Shiny object syndrome is the poison of everything new. And unfortunately, modern civilization with all the social media and everything in your face and everything is overstimulated, and attention span is less than the fish now, right? That's what people have. Unfortunately, it's becoming really hard to focus on one thing. And that's why with this new routine, that's the point of this new routine for me, is not be distracted at least for 6 hours of one day, and then just go full into what I'm working on right now, the most important task.
I love that. I'm gonna have to implement that. I'm off of my W-2 for the next 3 weeks, so I'm
Love
gonna
it.
do that
Yeah.
schedule for 3 weeks.
Try it out. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
And with shiny object syndrome and all these amazing things that you were learning when you first started, what made you choose cars?
Cars. I love cars. And then cars also way easier. It's not as intimidating. It wasn't intimidating for me, at least. When we talk about real estate, we talk about huge purchase, right? We're talking about on average. I believe average home price now in the U.S. little less than around 480,000. Let's to make it simple, let's say $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of people, it's a huge number to comprehend in their mind. $500,000 when, you know, average American makes like literally 80, less than like 80% of Americans make around $50,000 or less.
Yeah.
That's the average. So for a person who makes around 75, 60,000, whatever, it's a hard number to comprehend. $500,000, like, you're mentally creating so many blockages in your mind just because the big number that you have. You think it's a big number, right? And it is. But the approach is the same as you would negotiate a good deal on the glasses, for instance, right? Or computer or phone or used furniture. The process is the same. It's about building the connection with the buyer or seller, right? And then understanding the market of specific item that you're going to buy or sell, and then analyzing the numbers, structuring the numbers, right, properly, so you have long-term vision for it as well. What are you going to do with this product? Are you going to actually use it? For how long you're going to use it? And then when you're done using it, what's the exit strategy for that, right? So that's what you have to think about when it comes to whether it's real estate or you're acquiring businesses or buying cars like I did. For me, it was that, overcoming that huge number in my mind. Like, oh, okay, cars, I can start buying cars at $2,000.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a property for 2,000, you know. But if I learned the game of trading, right, and basics of building connections and communications and deal analysis and structuring and underwriting and negotiating, then I can apply the same principles to real estate. It's literally about the fundamentals. If you're great at sales with cars or any other product, you can be great. If we're talking about real estate, then you're going to be great with real estate as well. And that's what I did. And that's why because I already had some kind of fundamentals, I came into the real estate world and I was able to immediately, literally two months after I actually decided, okay, I'm going full into real estate full time. Then in less than 8 weeks, I was able to buy my very first rental. And it's all because I had the fundamentals. And that's what I want to teach people. If it took me, 8 years to get to this point, but I want the people I want to teach, I want them to get here in 8 weeks. If you learn the fundamentals, that's the point of being a great teacher, right? To save time for your students. Yeah. That's all about fundamentals. So, and like I said, its numbers are smaller on cars, and I just love cars. And cars are actually the second largest expense that Americans have. So it's housing and then cars. But the difference is drastic, right? On housing, people are spending half of their income now. On the cars, they're spending about 20 to 30% of their income, which is still a lot if you considering how much they're making per month. Most Americans, it's still a lot. And I wanted to completely eliminate car expenses because in 2023, last year, study shows that monthly cost of owning your car surpassed $1,000 for average American. Wow. An average American makes around $4,900, little like 49 with some change. Imagine they're literally spending 20%, give it a take, on just cars. Crazy. Now imagine what would you do if you completely eliminated your car expenses? You had extra $1,000 every single month. How powerful is that?
Very, very
That's what I did. So I started with cars, and then I had some extra income that I used to travel, and I was still learning English, right, when I moved to the US. And I just had this residual income. I started building my rental portfolio on Turo. I started renting cars. And then I was able to get into a real estate game and pay off my credit card debt that I got into when I paid for the membership, all because of cars. Yeah. And then I applied the same into the real estate.
Okay. And now you're 150 cars in, right? That's how many you've had so far?
Yes. I have a Cayenne right now, Porsche Cayenne, the first generation Porsche Cayenne. It's my card number 157 since I moved to the US.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Alex is asking, how does it work when cars depreciate?
Oh yeah, cars depreciate for sure, but you have to know specific car and what area you live in, right? It's very tailored to the region as well. You go from one region to another, there could be one car is not as popular, and the other car is popular, and that's why they hold value better. So you pick the right car, and then you can buy a car at the bottom of its depreciation. I bought my Cayenne, first generation Cayenne, the toughest Cayenne. I love first generation Cayennes, and now they're getting a lot of interest from car enthusiasts. I bought it for, I negotiated from 65, one same original owner, 81,000 miles, great shape. I negotiated down to 4,500. So I negotiated $2,000 off of 65 asking price, which is incredible. It is way easier to negotiate, 20% from $1 million property, because 20% from $1 million is 200,000, and you can go and negotiate that pretty easily. It's way easier from very expensive item to negotiate, 20%. But if you go and try and negotiate 20% off of $200,000 house, that's $40,000. No one's gonna go for it.
Right.
It's hard. So cheaper it is, the product you're dealing with, it is harder to negotiate. Mm-hmm. But I learned the communication style. It's all about communication. It's never about lowballing, really. And I got it for 45. I already put 4,000. I drove to Sacramento in it. I love driving it, and I love driving in general. And I can sell that thing for 8,000-9,000 right now. Like, I can put another 10, 15, 20,000 miles and get all of my money back in the next couple of years, and plus make some money on top of it. So it's about specific cars. Yeah.
Also, and that's all because of your negotiation
and knowing what cars to buy. That car was listed for under market value already.
Okay.
But I'm being not from here. I know Americans don't like, going back and forth and actually negotiating. For them, it's the sticker price is this. They can. That's, for me, that's, you're making a disservice to the seller. Sellers actually want you to negotiate. It's fun. Negotiating is actually fun, and negotiation starts when you hear no. You lowball them, and then okay, let's start the fun now. And I cannot, even if that car was listed for $1,000 automatically somehow, I would still not pay the full price. Like, I don't want to offend the seller by not lowballing. It is offensive when you lowball, but at the same time, it is so much fun to negotiate. So yeah, it's the right car. Like I said, those cars now like being sought after by enthusiasts, and they're never going to go, like, that car never going to be a $1,000 car if it's fully, in a good condition, well kept, and still driving around. Like, it's incredible. And they're making builds out of it now. They're jacking them up. They putting big off-road tires on them, like all of the road, because it is off-road capable.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And so where did you go to do the research to figure out that this was the car for the area that you're in?
It was like a few years ago, just learning the market and how it works. And all depends on, and that's when I started doing Turo as well. I was learning it. What people doing in the area you live in, right? You live in Northern California. People are into camping a lot. Mm-hmm. People are not too far from the ocean. They most likely surf, and then in the wintertime they go and enjoy probably some ski resorts, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then you're around beautiful forests and all of that. So outdoorsy lifestyle is a big theme where you live. So in your area, Subaru Outbacks, sport wagons, and outdoorsy cars like Jeep and 4Runners, Wranglers, Jeep Gladiators, some trucks, Tacomas, Land Cruisers, they're all going to be popular because your area allows them to be popular. You can go and do some tough stuff in off-road and camp and do whatever. Mm-hmm. But then you go to places like Miami, people not into they're into lavish lifestyle. They want to have two doors. The weather is great, right? For the most part, there is no ski resorts in Miami, and there's usually only summertime and maybe hotter version of springtime.
Mm-hmm.
So cars like Subarus, there's no need for all-wheel drive. Not going to be popular. But Mustangs and any two doors really, from starting with cheap like Mazda Miata, right, all the way to Bentley Continentals, Speed, or Lambos or Ferraris, and people all about flashing, being flashy and showing up and in your face kind of people.
Yeah,
they're gonna buy luxury cars, and you can literally ship even like cheap sporty cars, two-door cars, or convertibles from your area that's going to be older. You're not gonna get as much money, but you ship it to Florida, and there's a lot of people who are broke trying to be rich and look rich. They're gonna buy it and pay more.
Okay.
I know this because I've done it. I flew to Miami, spent some time there, and then I picked up a car that was not popular in Miami, but it was popular in Washington. So then I had a road trip back to Florida, literally from the most southeastern point, right, Key West, all the way to most northwestern point of the U.S. The longest road trip you can take. It's one of the things. It's a must-do thing on a lot of people who are into like driving and exploring the U.S. make that drive. And yes,
and even with adding all those miles on it, you still made money.
Of course. Wow. And you're gonna add maybe 4,000 miles on it. It's not that much. And then also something happens in people's mind when odometer crosses 100,000 miles. Like that's why you want to, like one of my buy box musts is not to have a car that has more than 120,000 miles on it. Okay. With some exceptions, like I had few Land Cruisers, 100 series or 80 series with 167, one of them. The other one had 175,000, but just because those are million-mile engines and they're incredibly expensive, and if you find a lower miles one, they're gonna go for so much money. Yeah. Okay. So there's some exceptions to that, but generally, yeah, I don't buy cars with more than 120,000 miles.
So you won't even buy the car in the city. You'll buy the car wherever and take it to where it's most wanted.
Yeah. For the most part, if that's what I'm going for. But now I'm not going to do that. My lifestyle has changed now. But when I was doing van life, I was all over. Yeah, I was all over. I would camp there and then buy a car and then have it for a while. I was living in my van, but I would have, at some point I had 4 cars while I was living in my van.
Oh my gosh.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was great. great. Incredible. I love cars so much. And then through cars, you can tell so much about their owners and how they would take care of the cars. There's something magical about cars. Yeah. And literally the whole America, unfortunately, the public transportation is not the strong suit of America, but cars, like if you don't have a car here, it's like you almost have no legs, really. Yeah. You have to have a car. Even in New York, I spend a lot of time in New York City. Subway system sucks. It's terrible. If you miss your train, you have to wait 40 minutes. I mean, if it's a rush hour, it's a little, more often trains go, if you miss your train, dang, yeah, sometimes you have to wait 40 minutes. It's terrible.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, definitely need a car.
Yeah, 100%.
Where do you typically find your deals? Like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist?
So at this point now, because I talk about my cars and car deals on on Instagram as well, so people bringing me deals. Oh. And then, depending on Marketplace is a great place. And then Craigslist is still good, not as good as it used to be, but still good. And then I used to do sticky notes marketing as well. Like literally, if I'm walking somewhere in the neighborhood, I saw a car that has little dust on it, I can tell it's been sitting for a few days. I leave a sticky note saying, hey, I'm interested to buy a car if you don't need it or something like that. And I bought cars that way as well. And then I made some good like connections with body shops, mechanic shops that would bring me some deals. And then rental companies, like you go to Enterprise,
that's so smart.
they have their old fleet. Okay, if you have build a relationship, you can buy cars from them as well. And then pawn shops as well. And then if you want to have a nice car, well, not nice, but a car enthusiast car that holds the value, go to Cars and Bids. Like that's the place to buy your car. Like car enthusiast car that most cars that sell there, they hold the value.
Okay.
And now we're going towards electrification even more. Those cars gonna hold the value even better. Adventures in Avenue says, "Can you help me?" Yeah, of course. DM me, please.
Do you ever do wraps for cars?
I did it when I was in like really skiing and all of that. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, not on all of them. No, when I need it, and it has to be a certain car. Yeah.
To do a wrap.
Yeah.
Okay.
But wraps, genuinely, any kind of mods, never do modifications. They always devalue your car.
Oh no, I meant like a creative finance wrap. Like you buy it and then you sell it to just like a regular person at like 5% interest rate.
Yeah, I just sold my third car recently, literally less than 2 weeks ago. So I have 3 cars on seller finance. Yes, I do that. Yeah, I'm getting monthly cash flow now every month. From those 3 cars.
Because interest rates on cars are high, so I feel like that's got to be a great strategy to buy a car that's already like paid off and then sell it to someone at like a 3-year. What kind of interest rates are you charging?
So to make it simple, I increase the purchase price. So for instance, in January I was hacking Mercedes CLS 550, incredible car that revolutionized the 4-door coupe craze. Like literally, because of this car, we have all these four-door coupes, right? Like Mercedes, BMW 6 Series, Porsche Panamera, Kia Stinger, and that car started that craze. I bought that car. I flew to San Francisco actually to pick it up from LA, where I was camping in my van, and I negotiated a really good deal. She was asking $7,500. And that car, brand new, was $81,000. It was an incredible color combo as well. Very rare color on it. Just for that color, it was Boston Green Metallic, I believe is what it's called. Just for that color, that lady, original owner, she paid $6,000 just for that color when it was brand new. I bought it for less than what she paid for that just color. It's an incredible color. I bought it for $4,800. So then I enjoyed it through April. I had it for almost 4 months, and then I sold it on seller finance for $10,000. So there even if you put 15% interest rate on it, you would make less money. So that's why I'm like, I'm gonna just double the purchase price and sell it on seller finance.
Okay.
And I did. Now I'm collecting $500 a month on it.
For how long? How long a term do you usually do?
So I took $1,000 down, and then I took $250 delivery fee and paperwork fees, and now for next 18 months I'm receiving $500.
Okay, is that like the longest term you've done?
No,
you've done like
I sold my first car, which was Toyota Camry, which I was offloading my Turo fleet. I sold that one, and that has a 2-year term.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. That one has 8% interest on it, and I'm getting $333 every month. Yeah.
Okay.
From that one. Yeah.
And how do you find the people to sell them to? Like, what's your biggest?
Super easy. Yeah. Finding people would always buy something on Sellify. It's super. You literally, when you market it, Marketplace or Craigslist, whatever you're selling, just by the purchase price, put "will take payment." And that's it. There's going to be, and every time I sell a car, people constantly ask me, "Hey, can I do payments?" Like, yeah, it's not a problem to sell your car on payments. It's way harder to find a car on payments, but to sell it, no. A lot of people are broke, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, how are there any red flags like to people you like wouldn't sell to? Like, do you do credit checks or
No,
background
I
checks or
so
that?
far I sold it to only people who like this CLS. It was when I bought it, the guy, and I know him very well now. He became a really good friend of mine. He wanted it, and he's like, "Hey, can you do creative finance?" Now, all the people that I sold it so far, I have way too many people asking me and
Mhm.
waiting for next creative card deal. Like at
Okay.
this point, it's all through connections.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't know someone you're selling it to, there are ways to protect yourself,
Hmm.
and it's still possible to make it all legally. Where you're going to be protected and the person going to be protected, just like dealers and small time dealers sell it.
Yeah.
You can install a kill switch.
Oh.
For you, it's
Okay.
not going to be legal. Yeah, if someone not missed the payment, you can, like a remote, you kill the switch and they're not going to be able to start the car. And
Okay.
you can actually see where your car is at any given moment. So that's one of the protections you can do.
Oh.
And obviously paperwork wise you want to do.
I almost so you sell and seller finance, but how do you buy only sub two or what am I missing here? I think it's just that he finds really good deals.
So
Is that right?
on seller, yeah, I want to avoid, because with cars, it's not a sub two, it's not a true sub two, because you don't own the car. When you go and buy a car from a dealer and you like do the payments, right? You buy it on payments and finance it. You never hold the title. The owner is still that financial institution or that dealer that sold the car to you. So there's two ownerships now on that car. There's a legal owner and there's registered owner. Legal owner is that establishment that financed the car to you.
Okay.
But you become a registered owner so you can go and register your car, get the insurance, and actually drive it around. But you're not going to become an owner until you pay it off, and then you become a legal owner. That's why it's not a step two. True definition of it is takeover payments. That's it. But you're not the owner. But with the power of attorney and the right paperwork in place, you can make it to the point where, yeah, now you're paying on that person's behalf, on seller's behalf. But then once it's fully paid off, you receive the title.
Okay.
So yeah, you can wrap the cars as well once, as long as you do the paperwork and when there is a loan in place for these cars. But it's just more risk involved. You don't
Yeah.
own the car really. With the real estate on sub two, you actually hold the deed.
Hmm.
So you're the owner. Yeah, debt is not in your name, but you hold the deed. At least you're the owner of the real estate.
Yeah.
That's why I do sell. I prefer it to do
Okay.
seller plan. Yeah, I did wholesale creative deals with loans
Hmm.
when I just connected buyer and seller. It's possible. Absolutely, everything's possible. But for me and my own peace of mind, I would buy it, for myself to take over payments with a loan in place. That's fine. But
But
to wrap it around it, now there's a lot of moving pieces.
right, and if it is it worth it or not?
No, not for me. It's not. I
Okay.
rather
And,
just wholesale it, get my assignment fee, and forget about it. Now I'm not responsible. But yeah, you can wrap it. Technically, you can. Absolutely.
okay. And you don't do any work to these cars, right?
No,
Like
I don't
you're
know
not
how to
fixing them
work
up.
for it.
So you
I
buy
never.
turnkey cars.
I usually rarely buy fixer uppers unless I know that my mechanic for sure. And I constantly move around, so I don't. Every time I go somewhere, now I have to find a new mechanic, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to find a decent mechanic nowadays. A lot of people are lazy, unfortunately, and good mechanics are retiring, and there's less and less of them around. But it's very, yeah, I can probably, out of 157 cars, maybe five of them or six of them were actual fixer-uppers. I only had two cars that I had to replace engines with. There's another car that I had to replace the transmission, and then there's another car that I had to do some suspension work. But if I'm buying it, it's something little. Like on this Cayenne, I did oil change so far, and I reupholstered the seat. That's it. But altogether, it cost me less than $300 to do it.
Wow.
So it's not really a project, right? It's just some upkeep that it needed. Just oil change and fix the seat. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I rather go and negotiate, communicate with the seller. I play this mental game. I like this rather than trying to go and compete with all these car flippers that want to go and buy something so cheap but it needs a lot of work. For me, time is a lot more important.
so in order to make money, it's all about purchase price and buying the right car.
Yeah.
That sounds like.
The right car, yes. You can buy a car and maybe even not really buy it under market value, but you can buy it, have it for a year, and then next year sell it and get all of your money back. There's a lot of cars that you can hack at any price point: 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, $500,000. Well, when you go to higher price points, you're actually making money. Actually, the biggest return on investment in humans' history is the car. It's never real estate. It's not even Bitcoin. If you bought McLaren F1 in 2001, it was around like under 600,000, maybe, depending on the package. Now that one of the most recent sales, it sold for over $20 million. Every year, it appreciated for $1 million. Literally every year, it gained $1 million in value. What kind of real estate gains that much in value? No real estate gains that much in value.
That's
so
crazy.
Yeah, cars are great investment if you know what you're doing, and it's fun, and you can drive them around. You cannot show up at the party in your house, even if it's cool. You can show up in your car.
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
And you have now taken these skills of creative financing with cars, and you've now also applied them though to real estate, right?
Oh yes, 100%.
You bought your
all of my deals that I bought in wholesale. Now I think about it, all of them are creative. None of them are traditional. I never applied for obviously a loan. Never went to a bank. I never even applied for DSCR or hard money loan. Like I've done it all creative. So I just closed on my 5th property, right, and 5th being my primary, and then I wholesaled even more properties, all creative.
Yeah. Okay. Can you walk us through a little bit in detail about with one of your creative finance deals?
Yeah, 100%. So let me walk you through this wholesale creative deal, my very first creative deal that I've done. I love talking about it because it was my very first deal, and it was $1 million deal as well. Wow. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing, but somehow I did it, and now I look back, wow, it was a great deal. So I met someone at the event. It was like networking event. And then we connected, and I immediately told them, hey, I'm brand new. I don't know nothing about real estate, but let's follow each other. And we connected very well. We grabbed coffee a couple of times. We actually started establishing like friendship. And then he started following me around. And then by month 3, like I said, I got into like creative finance, right? And I started sharing my literally first steps, like what I'm doing and what I'm going to do next to buy my free house and all of that. And he started following me, and he started like, oh, dude, you're doing something interesting. Like, what is this? And he started asking me questions. And as I was learning, I was educating him as well. And one of the best ways to actually get that knowledge into you is teach someone, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever you just learned, go teach someone, and you're just becoming expert now. So, and then around the same time, like a month or so after that, he used to live in California, in SoCal, in Hollywood actually. And after COVID, he moved to Vegas, and he had that property rented, and he wanted to get out of the California because it's becoming really tough to have a property in California now. Regulations are tough. Everything is killing your cash flow. There is no cash flow anymore. So he wanted to get out. And his agent, that was it was May of last year. And if you remember, interest rates shot up like crazy last year, like end of spring last year. They're literally doubled. Yeah. And he is like, his agent told him, dude, interest rate is so high now. Unfortunately, the value of your house went down dramatically. And he was hoping to get $1 million because few months prior to that, he could have sold it for $1 million. But now agent told him, we can list it for $900,000, and you have to put some work into it. Your tenants just moved out. It needs some cleanup. And he was so upset, right? And then reached out to me saying, dude, you've been talking about this concept that it's never about the purchase price of the real estate. It's always about what you can do with it. Like, can you explain that? And I explained it to him. Basically, it's if you have the great terms on it and it's favorable to the next buyer, right, to the next owner,
Yeah.
it makes sense financially, then it's okay to overpay for the property. And I told him that, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna fire my realtor. Can you help me to sell this? Like, yeah, let's do it. and again, remind you, I have no experience, nothing. This is my very first wholesale deal I'm working on. I didn't even fish for it, right? I didn't hunt for it. So I started structuring the deal. As I was learning, I was applying little stuff here and there. So I structured this deal. I showed it to him, and I said, hey, this is what I came up with. I'm going to find you a buyer $1 million, but you're going to have to let him take over your existing mortgage payment, which was at 3.75% interest. And then he wanted $1 million. He had around $480,000 in mortgage. But to make it simple for the math, let's say $500,000 in mortgage, $500,000 in equity is what he had. And then I told him on your equity, however, we're going to have to do 0% principal only payments. Are you okay with that? And he was making $250 a month cash flow. That's it. You have $1 million property, you have $500,000 in equity, and your return on it is $250. And if you had to fix any given month something, you're negative.
Yeah.
And I told, okay, he's like, yeah, I'm open to it. What do you think I would get as a cash flow? I'm like, what do you want? Well, maybe, $700, $800 would be nice. I'm like, no, dude, I can get you $1,500 because your property would rent for a lot more now if they put some work into it. And I told him, I'm going to structured the deal where you would get $1,500 a month cash flow. And he was like, what? By selling this, and not only I can make even more cash flow and get more for the purchase price? I'm like, yes, hell yeah. So he was okay with it. We created a contract, and I went with this contract to find a buyer. And it's pretty easy to find a buyer in Southern California, let me tell you that, especially if it's a creative deal. So I found a buyer. There was a few people interested, but someone gave me $20,000 on top of asking price. So I came back to my seller, said, hey, I brought, because I wanted to provide even more value. I have someone for $1,020,000. You okay with that? In every other term, he wanted a balloon payment at 5 years, but I told him let's do a little more. So we have a 7-year balloon. And that buyer was incredibly stoked, and he paid $1 million and $20,000 on top of it, right? And he paid me $20,000 on my part as well. That was an assignment fee. And we took $75,000 down payments. We were all within 10% down, which is incredible. If your entry fee is around 10% or less, then it's a pretty good deal for the most part. So we closed the deal. My seller was happy, buyer was happy. I made my very first assignment fee, and it was a pretty good chunk for me at the time. And that was my very first creative deal. And then from there, because I built a relationship with my seller, we bought 2 more deals together.
Wow.
All creative, and I raised money with them, over $300,000. And that was my very first creative wholesale deal. Yeah.
That's incredible. What a way to start.
Yeah, it was
You hit the ground running. And from there, how many deals have you done since? Wholesaling and everything.
Wholesaling, I've done 7 wholesale deals, and I bought 5 properties. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And are you still only through like personal referrals with finding these
deals?
So
that's why I don't focus. I don't want to wholesale. It's not my thing. But all of the deals, the properties I bought, deals I wholesaled, all have been done through personal connections and connections through social media. All of them. None of them. I never called anyone. I never skip trace any lists. I never sent a text. I never did, PPC, any kind of marketing, like all organic, free marketing. And I'm going to stick to that. I'm not trying to build a wholesale business, or much worse, flipping business like real estate. I don't want to do that. I want to build my portfolio, but for that, I don't need to go and spend a bunch of money on marketing.
Yeah.
I don't need that. So that's what I've been doing. And now I'm getting into bigger projects. So I'm working on this boutique hotel in Palm Springs, also came from my social media, and I'm excited to raise money for that. I need to raise substantial amount to get into the big chunk
Oh,
for it. Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah.
you're raising private money for this boutique hotel. And are you JVing this hotel with another person, or are you finding the deal and or raising money?
Yeah. If I raise the money needed,
Mhm.
then I'm gonna get equity share in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just have another friend who just closed on a Palm Springs boutique hotel. Apparently, Palm Springs is the place to be right
Palm
now.
Springs is incredible. I spent 4 days in Palm Springs in April. What a cool place! It's the second most popular bachelorette destination right now, after Nashville. It's
Mhm.
incredible. Beautiful little town.
Yeah. Last time I was there, there was a sandstorm. I didn't have the best
It
experience.
comes with it. Palm Springs is incredible, yeah. And
It's
when the
beautiful.
season is hot, yeah, and it's only 3 hours away from Phoenix. I'm so excited to be so close by to it. Yeah.
Cool. And so you're working on that. What else? What else? Other projects you working on right now?
My biggest project right now, I'm working on creating that community to teach people fundamentals. Like,
Okay.
yeah, it's something that is hugely missing in many people's lives. They all, like I said, focus on deals, but it's about building fundamentals.
Yeah.
And even when you go consider big memberships, right, and communities, they all mostly focusing on, yeah, let go, learn this, learn this, learn that, like specifically deals wise, and then go make a deal. But what's stopping people is their psychology and how they talk to themselves. Literally, Tony Robbins says success in anything in life is 90% psychology and 10% mechanics. So you go into most communities, they focusing on those 10%, which is great, right? That's their specialty.
Mm-hmm.
But 10% not going to help you if you didn't master your psychology, which
Yeah.
literally 90% of your success.
Well, I feel like we're in more control than we realize. We have more power over our lives and over the choices we make. Because I know after talking to you the first time, I was like, wow. When you were just talking about like if I choose to work out, it's not because I'm choosing because I like to work out. It's because I'm the type of person to work out because that's the type of person
Well,
I want to be in order to
exactly.
succeed, right?
Yeah, so even simple fact that the way you approached it right now, like, right, like people think, well, there's a lot of people trying to get into shape, but the way they approach it, they have the desire, they have the motivation, right, they have the
Yeah.
will, which none of them works in the long run, like none of them. So but the approach and how you tell yourself is the mistake that people make. Instead of, why do you work out? Not because I want to be in shape. If that's your motivation, it's not going to last. If you tell yourself, I want to be in shape, I want to be in shape, I want to be in shape, in 30 days, nothing going to change. But if you tell yourself, I'm an athlete, now what athlete does? He or she goes and works out, right?
Yeah.
You go to work out because you're an athlete. You don't read a book for the sake of reading a book. You're a reader, and that's why you read a book. So it's the identity shift that you have to make.
Yes.
That's why people cannot quit drinking or smoking, because they say, I don't want to smoke anymore. I stopped smoking.
Mm-hmm.
No, tell yourself, I'm not a smoker. And
Right.
then shift's going to start happening.
Yeah. Identify with your habits.
Yes.
So that way you can become the person that you want to be in order to succeed in the life that you want, right?
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
that. And you're going to be teaching all this in your community?
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on, literally teaching fundamentals. And I'm gonna, the product will be cars, teach people how to eliminate their second largest expense.
Mm-hmm.
I want to help the most people, right, who are struggling, who are living paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. Teach people that have that extra $800,000 a month, because that for most people that's going to be life changing. People who used to live paycheck to paycheck, having that extra $1,000 a month, that's a life changing. That's where it starts. That's a lot more valuable in the very beginning than your next whatever hundreds of thousands of dollars later on, because it starts small, but that small makes the greatness come around, because you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
It's gonna like record that just piece and just like stick it on my wall or something. I love that because it's so funny because that relates to so much, especially because people feel like they have to work out before they go to the gym, or they feel like they have to own real estate before going to a real estate meetup. It's like they feel like they have to be that person already in order to go and do the things that that type of person is doing.
Yeah.
But it's like totally backwards.
Again,
You need to do it.
it's
You
the
just need to do it.
yeah, psychology and how you communicate with yourself. And that's exactly what I want to focus on in my community. And also, the people think they're lacking information or they're lacking knowledge. In knowledge and information are all free now, especially with internet. Everything is free.
Yeah.
Everything you need to know to start in anything, real estate or any other business, literally all the information is free. You don't need that anymore. People lack wisdom and accountability now. And I think if you have the place of like-minded people, they come together, they share everything with you, and then we kick each other's butt to go and make it happen. That's what people need. And that's why you pay for memberships and communities, not because the knowledge. No, right. Everything is free.
Yeah. You need someone else to hold you accountable other than yourself.
And now what I'm noticing, people no one watches TV anymore, right? Not even Netflix. So YouTube is getting all of the rankings now. People watch educational content as entertainment, but they never take action. That's what's happening now.
Yeah. Wait, why do you think that is? Do you think people have just become numb to it because they're just seeing it so much, or maybe because they tried and failed?
I think personal development and this hustle culture became so trendy, but that people think, oh, if I watch educational video while I'm eating my breakfast, then I'm doing something with my life. Mm-hmm. No, you're not doing anything with your life unless you take action on what you just learned. But people not doing that because they have no accountability.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening. They feel good about themselves. Oh, I didn't waste my time watching Friends. I watched how to save and invest in this video. Now I feel good about myself. But they probably never going to really take that action anyway. But at least at the moment, in the moment, they felt good about themselves. That's what's happening. Because it's trendy. You go on Instagram, everyone's talking about how to be productive, how to hustle around, how to buy a Lamborghini for free. Everyone actually owns a Lamborghini nowadays. Like you go, no one is losing. Like you go, someone is winning somehow. But then you see the statistics. Oh, there's only 20% of people of all in the whole country that make $75,000 or more. Only 20%. But on social media, the way it's perceived, everyone is just ultra successful.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like that. Exactly what you said before with the like you only have like 30 seconds to grab someone's attention, but it's like that people are more interested in getting that immediate like satisfaction over like long-term satisfaction. I feel like they're just like, oh cool, I read a book about finance, I feel good, but I'm not actually going to implement it, and that feel good only lasts so long, and then bam, like 30 days later and you're still exactly where you were, and now I feel like that feeling is gone and now you don't know what to do. But if you have that community, now you have people texting you like, if you're checking in every week, like, oh, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you go analyze this deal? Why haven't you contacted a contractor yet? Why didn't you work out? Holding yourself accountable, because I mean, with my accountability group, I know people like will do stuff like the day before just because I know it's like the next day, like, oh, I have to tell them like I'm doing this, and it's like that
exactly
push out of your comfort zone, because it's so easy to be in the background when no one's watching.
Yeah. And also I think what's happening with all the social media, and people became more divided now, more independent, and it's really with date, because I've gotten back into dating life again, right? Dating world, and it is so easy now for people, sitting in their pajamas in the house, or maybe even in their whatever, and they're just swiping left or right. It has no value behind it. It's so easy now, and people just lost the ability to connect. They don't know how to do it. Yeah. Men don't go and fight for women. They don't go and conquer them and conquer their attention and actually build something worth building. because they're not putting any effort. And because of that, we are more separated from each other, and people having less and less friends. And older we're getting, it is harder to actually like make friends. And I want to do everything in life with friends. I want to make money with friends. I want to go explore outdoors activities with friends. I want to build something with friends and travel with friends, right? But it's becoming really harder and harder literally every year now because of technologies and how simplified our life is getting. But at the same time, it's coming at the expense of building true connections. And that's why when people say, oh yeah, I'm afraid my AI going to take away my job. Some of the jobs will disappear, but demand for rawness and vulnerability and actual genuine connection going to be even more. And that's why you see a lot of YouTubers, like newer YouTubers, they're popping up now that not like they're not editing this overstimulated videos. Yeah. They're actually connecting. They're not removing these weird, like awkward pauses and silence moments, like the way actually people talk.
Yeah,
that's what they're posting, and they're getting a lot of popularity. People are starving for true, genuine connection now. And that's another point of this community that I'm building. Yeah.
I love it. Where can people find more about your community?
So I'm going to launch it, and I'm going to work on creating a course in it, in the free community that I'm building. So I'm going to launch it probably this week. And if people DM hack to me, like DM me just hack, I'm going to send out information. Yeah.
Wow.
You're very welcome, Adventures and Avenues. What's your name, by the way?
Her name is Alex. You're lovely.
Huh?
Her name is Alex. She's actually in my accountability group.
That's so sweet. She's so sweet. She's been from the beginning, probably.
Yeah. Alex, make sure you message him so he can find you a car.
Yeah, and then Deal's doctor.
Yes, that's Almas.
Almas?
Almas. She's also in my accountability group.
So can I give you, lovely ladies, can I give you some advice on branding? Use your name in it at least. One, like you can be, Almas Deals and Wheels or Doctor, whatever. Put your name in it, because even when you think you're not posting and branding, you're still branding, but you're branding yourself as someone maybe, unreliable, inconsistent and all of that. Use your Almas. Yeah, Almas. Almas means diamond in, I believe, Russian, right? Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Almas.
He's a diamond.
Yep. Yeah, diamond. Yeah, that's very cool. But yeah, it's a beautiful name, Almas. Use it.
Well, as we wrap up here, what, I guess, walking away from this, if somebody was to walk, I know a bunch of people are going to be walking away with a ton because you've shared so much empowering and valuable information. So thank you again for sharing all of this. But what is the number one most important thing, in your opinion, that you want people to walk away with?
A lot of people focusing on on short-term gratification, right? Like immediate gratification, and everything that we do in life, if it's worth doing, it's only worth doing for a long term. That's why don't focus. My favorite plant is bamboo, but here's the cool fact about bamboo. Did you know that? Yeah, and you can check this. Did you know that it takes 5 years to water and fertilize the seed of bamboo before it ever starts actually showing up above the ground, right? Wow. 5 years you have to, every day, by the way. Bamboo loves the water and eating a lot. So it takes 5 years to water and fertilize. And then year 5 comes, it grows 90 feet in 90 days. Literally a foot a day for next 3 months.
Wow.
So that should tell you something about it. But those 5 years, that's when you go learn everything about yourself. You learn the market. You learn the economical, basics. You learn how to find deals and structure deals and negotiate and underwrite deals. And then year 5 comes. Now you have all the skills, and these skills gonna feed you for the rest of your life. Instead of focusing on deals, acquire skills. because skills pay the bills. So long-term gratification is your focus. And my favorite book of all time is Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, and it specifically talks about why it is important to focus on long-term gratification. And I highly recommend this book to everyone. I read that book every year. That's my goal. And that book changed my life, and I love it so much. There's another version of it, Compound Effect, by, I forgot Harvey, I forgot the name of the author, but it's a very short version of The Slight Edge. But Slight Edge is an amazing book. And I know Tony Robbins learned a lot from that book. It's incredible. Jeff Olson, Slight Edge.
All right, I got that written down. Now I know what book I'm reading next. Thank you.
Going back to friendships, my all-time favorite quote, and it was actually said by my good friend in Washington. I miss him dearly. He said that when you feel the happiness, right? And that quote is about happiness. Happiness is the only thing in life doubles when it's shared. Nothing doubles in life but happiness when it's shared. So yeah, if you feel good about today, if you feel good, go text someone about it. Like text your friend, hey, check on your friend, check on your sister or brother, check on someone you haven't talked to in a long time. Yeah, because it's like a virus. It's like a parasite, right? It's so easy to make people feel good when you're feeling good. It's that easy. And
it's contagious.
Contagious. Yeah, I'm still learning. Contagious. What a beautiful word it is. But it is so easy to make people feel good, and most importantly, it's free. It doesn't cost anything.
Exactly.
Take your stuff. Oh, thank you. Almost.
So you're already inspiring people to go out and take action.
And then there's a good friend of mine, Jeff, is also here. He just came back from Detroit. It's amazing. Thank you, Jeff. Almost. Thank you. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, you have very, very engaging audience. You're killing it, Miranda. Awesome.
Thank you. They're very supportive.
You're a great teacher. Yeah. Hey, let me know when you're single, okay?
Stop. You might be waiting a while. I think my boyfriend's still sitting in. So.
Sorry, boyfriend.
Well, thank you so much again for coming on today and sharing your wisdom. And I know I already feel empowered to go out and take action. And I see other people in the chat are too. So if people want to find more about you, they can find you as Red as the Color on Instagram. DM him for Hack if you want to join his community, which sounds amazing. I'm so excited for you to launch. As well as DM him. What do you want them to DM you if you want them to find you? They want you to find them a car.
Just car.
Car, okay.
Or just say, hey, I'm looking for a car. Yeah, and I call maybe and just educate you on what car you should buy depending on where you're at. If your goal is not to lose money on your car, which my goal is always that.
Yes, good words to live by. I think.
Yeah. Thank you again. You're an awesome. You're a great interviewer. You're such a genuine person, and your ability to actually connect with people is going to take you really far in life. Yeah, keep going.
Thank you. That means a lot. And I will talk to you more soon. Hopefully see you at WealthCon.
Oh, please. I got you. I'll get you a 75% discount for a VIP ticket.
Woo!
That's the perk of being a good friend with Ryan, you know?
I love it.
Yeah, please come. Please come. I know it's your birthday coming up. That's going to be a great way to celebrate.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'll see you at WealthCon. I'm doing it. I'm saying it right now.
Okay, yeah.
I'm coming. I'll text you.
Okay, I'm going to reach out to Ryan's team for that personalized link because VIP ticket is $2,500.
Yeah.
I can get you that for way cheaper.
Woo! Everyone, come celebrate my birthday in Las Vegas.
WealthCon, let's go. All right,
okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.